Hello, Corey from BachScholar here. Thank you for joining me. I'm very happy to talk to you a little more about my sight reading book here, Sight Reading and Harmony, published 2017. If you don't have your copy, get one now. It's October 11th, and they are selling very quickly, as I informed you in the last video a few days ago, or about a week ago. They are still selling quickly, but I still do have some left, so if you would like some books for the holiday season coming up in December and January, you need to get yours now before they all sell out. So they're available in hard copy and PDF, and if you order hard copy and PDF together, you get a discount on the PDF. I ship all over the world to, of course, the United States and all countries of the world. So you can choose your country on the order form on the website. Before starting on the talking about the chord charts here in the book, which I want to focus on today, just want to read a couple emails to you. I've had some very happy customers here email me. In fact, not one bad email so far. Everyone loves their books. Thank you. This is a brilliant publication. My grandson's teacher is already using it for him. Definitely worth the wait. Here's another email here, I believe from Europe. I just opened your book. Congratulations. It's a masterpiece. Each page is worth the time I waited and each penny I paid for it. 2 thumbs up. This is really music to my ears when I get emails like that, because you know the reason I make this book and other books to come is for you, so you can become a better pianist. I want to help you become a better pianist. Now, I want to talk a little about this chord chart here in the book. If you have your book, open it up to page 1 in part 4. You'll see here part 4, 150 chorale excerpts. It'll be simply page 1 here in C major. Okay, now, I've had several people ask me about these chord charts. I want to explain who needs to know this and what it does for you. Okay, first of all, if you're a beginner, if you're just learning how to read notes and you're still working hard on reading these grades 1 to 2 examples here, you do not need to worry about this chord chart. It's really just way above you right now, so you don't need to worry about that. If you're a little more advanced and you're playing grades 3 and 4 example here, these lines, you still don't really need to worry about this chord chart. You only really need to start interpreting this and knowing what it means when you're down here on these 3 lines here. Grades 5 to 6 through grade 10. Now, this chord chart I designed to go exactly with the grades 7 and 8 example here. And this is because the grade 7 and 8 lines, the 150 examples of them, do not have any eighth notes or passing tones. I take them away. And so that makes it less ambiguous with naming chords, because the problem with Bach chorales is when you start adding a lot of passing tones and eighth notes or quavers, you start adding more chords, or the possibilities for more chords. So just to keep it simple, I've taken just the chords that occur in grades 7 and 8 here, and those are the chords listed here, and the cadence is listed here, which of course come from these chords. So there are 2 types of chords. There are primary chords, which are 1, 4, and 5. So in the key of C, if we're in the key of C major, we have a C major chord, we have an F major chord, and a G major chord. Those are called the 3 primary chords in a key. In this particular example, it does use all 3. Not all of them use all 3 primary chords necessarily, but you see here C major, G major, F major. Now, in parentheses, you'll see these Roman numerals. You don't really have to worry about those so much right now. When you're just learning to use the chart, just ignore what's in the parentheses in the Roman numerals and just focus on the names of the chords: C major, G major, F major. Now, all other chords are known as secondary chords. Now, the secondary chords are all, as I said, all the other chords. So, in this example, we have B diminished, B dim. We have D major. We have a D7. This is also known as a dominant seventh chord. It's a D dominant 7, just called D7. We have a C7 chord, a C dominant 7th chord. There is an F sharp diminished chord, a diminished triad built on F sharp. And we have an A minor 7th chord. It's an A minor triad with an added minor 7th. So in all we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have a total of 9 chords that are used in this example here. That's actually pretty many. Many of these examples only use about 5 chords. So, and there are some that only use 3 or 4. So they're not all really highly complex. So I'm going to play the grade 7 and 8 line here very slowly. And we're just going to stop on each chord and name the chord. Now, here's the first chord. So we have to figure out what that is. Well, that's a C major chord. And it's right here, C major. The first primary chord. We're in the key of C major. The second chord here, the first chord of the first full measure, G major. So we have a G major chord here. The next chord, we have a D, C, F sharp, A. That is a D7 chord, right there, D7. And then the chord at the fermata is G major. So the first phrase we have C major, G major, D7, G major. Now the next chord, this is the chord with a B flat in it. See, we have a C, a B flat, an E, and a G. So that, for those of you that know your music theory, is called C7. It's a C dominant 7th chord right here, C7. And once again, if this is new for you, just ignore what's in the parentheses. You don't have to focus right now on the Roman numerals. Just get to the point where you can name the chords. Okay, so we have a C7. The first chord of the second full measure here is an F major. This is one of the primary chords in the key of C, F major. Now, that's a kind of a dissonant sounding chord. We have a D, F, D, B. Now, out of those 4 notes, D, F, D, B, there's only 3 notes because D is doubled. Okay? So the chord really consists of only B, D, F. B, D, F. That is a B diminished chord. We have that listed right here. It's built on the 7th degree of the scale. That's why that Roman numeral is there. So B diminished, and then C major. So the second phrase, starting from the chord with the B flat in it, is C7, F major, B diminished, C major. Then we have a G major. Ooh, here's another one of these dissonant sounding chords. Let's figure out what it is. We have an A, C, F sharp, C. So we have an A, we have 2 C's and an F sharp. So we can leave 1 C out. And if you rearrange those in the order of the triad, we have an F sharp, A, C. F sharp, A, C is the triad here. That is an F sharp diminished triad. F sharp diminished right here. F sharp diminished triad. Now you have a G major chord. That happens to be in first inversion. Then we have a D major chord. Then we have a G major chord. These are all in this box. Here's one that you might have trouble with. This one is a C in the bass, E, G, A. Now, here's the rule. Whenever you have two notes right next to each other, see the third to the last chord, we have a G and an A, both only a second apart, very close together. Whenever you have that, it's always a seventh chord. And that's because if you flip a second around, it becomes a seventh. So in this case, A is the root. So we have an A, we have a C, we have an E, and a G. A, C, E, G. A, C, E, G. In classical music theory, that's called a minor seventh chord. So we have A minor seventh. That's an A minor seventh chord. Then the next to the last chord, the penultimate chord, D7, D dominant seventh. Then the last chord is G major. So one way you can understand this chord chart here is it's like a cheat sheet to help you figure out the chords. If I didn't have this here and you had to name the chords, you would just be really almost like blind. You wouldn't know where to start or what to do. But you can use this chord table or chart right here to help you. By process of elimination, you can figure what chords are in grades 7 and 8 line by simply determining by process of elimination what they are. Let me give you an example. This F sharp diminished chord. Well, if you look through this example, there are only 3 places where there are F sharps. Okay? So one of these 3 chords has to be that F sharp diminished. Well, it's not the first one. The first one it's a D7 chord. Okay? It's not the last one, or the next to the last one, because that's a D7. So the only other one it could be is this one in the middle. This. So you just look for the note. F sharp, if it's an F sharp diminished, it has to be somewhere where there's an F sharp in the chord. See? So this is just a little primer on helping you get to know these chord charts. It's difficult. I know it is. This is a difficult thing. For those of you that haven't learned any music theory yet, this is very daunting. This is high level music theory. This is college level music theory, actually. So don't expect to know all this if you're a beginner. In fact, if you're a beginner working on these, you can just disregard that altogether. Only worry about it if you are at the point where you're playing chords. And if you are playing chords, you can use these to your advantage to help you name the chords and understand the chords better. And in the very near future, in the next few months or so, I'll be also uploading videos to the Well-Rounded Pianist. You can become a member there and learn more about music theory and chords and harmony. And I'll be using this book for that. So I hope that helps you out now. Hope this is a good introduction video on understanding the chord chart in the middle of the page. Once again, if you haven't gotten your copy, get one now. And until next time, bye.